hit 1K subscribers, we should...
Subscribe to my channel. I need it.
Subscribe to me.
Actually, to be honest, out of all of us, I think Zane does need it.
We all need
He's just
subscribers.
literally been axed. Like,
He literally got killed by YouTube.
he did.
Yes, I know. Please, seriously, I'm not joking. I need help. Subscribe to my channel now. I will find you.
Hello everybody, Indominus Rex 01, Roaring a Victory here, with a new episode of Carnivorous Conversations. Here I am joined by...
Zainreborn 2, who is, I woke up super early in the morning, so my mind is not at 100%, so expect a lot of dead space. Also, here is a talking orca whale.
A very sick talking walker. Well, I'm not a whale, I'm a dolphin.
Same family.
You make me almost swear. That's how upset I was. I almost used bad words.
I am very sorry for insulting the whale family tree.
How we are dolphins.
Yes, yes, and dolphins are whales.
Are they? No, they're not.
They're technically whales.
I'm pretty sure they are because they have blowholes.
Are dolphins whales? No, not the country.
The country whales.
Orca continues to find the quest of what he really is.
Oh my gosh. I've learned, spoiler alert, dolphins are in fact whales.
Told you.
They are a part of a whale family.
You didn't know this.
No.
Dude, how is it that you are a whale and yet you know very little about yourself?
Well, you learn something new every day.
The more you know. Speaking of what do we know about what the topic is we're talking about today?
Well, we're supposed to be talking about Camp Cretaceous, but...
Which means we'll be talking about everything else.
But for the last 30 minutes before recording, we were just posting memes.
So we're turning this into meme review.
Meme review.
Welcome to Jurassic Meme.
Jurassic Meme.
And here, but in this paddock, we can see the Globgo Gabgalab. And in the other enclosure, we can see Miles Morales saying, "Hey."
I'm still on this thing about like orcas and dolphins.
Yeah, got it. So we have Indominus being normal, Mr. Tennis Ball, aka me, just sleep deprived and honestly not at 100%, and then Orca's just having an identity crisis.
I found something here saying that killer whales.
Just your average Thursday.
Not yeah. I found something here that killer whales are technically not a whale. But if they're a type of dolphin, but dolphins are a type of whale, then they are technically a type of whale.
Get out of the rabbit hole while you have the chance.
Look, we can just wait like a day or three and Fang will answer our question.
I'm very confused.
Fang just seems to have the answer for everything.
He has all of the knowledge of the internet stored inside his brain.
He is Tank's disciple. No, hang on. He is this world's Tank.
Fang is a literal god.
By the way, Fang, these are all compliments.
What? Did you think he would be insulted by the fact that we're calling him God?
Hey, you never know. Maybe being called a god is a really high offense where he's from. Then again, I know like literally nothing about him, so who am I to I don't know.
I mean, hey, if you're describing him as a god, you could literally mean any god. As far as you know, you could be calling him Kratos.
I don't know what that means.
He's a Greek god who kills other gods.
Boy. Hang on.
And he just so happens to be the star of, he just so happens to be And he just so happens to be the star of my favorite video game ever made.
That sounded, out of all the painful sayings you've ever had to say, that sounded the most painful.
Boy.
I booted up voice mod just to say boy in a deeper voice. Didn't
We have been talking for 6 minutes. We've only mentioned Camp Cretaceous once.
Like I said, hang in, Orca, I'm trying to speak.
Sorry.
Never mind, the moment's gone.
And for those who can't tell, yes, Orca got a soundboard.
But if you were subscribed to my channel, you'd already know that.
So yeah, on the day recording this, Camp Cretaceous came out what? Nearly a week ago at this point.
I'd say 6 days ago.
So, nearly a week.
Yeah.
May have had a slight delay.
And now there are already trailers for other things I'm watching, but that's not important.
We can go on about tangents about those later.
For now, let us talk about the dinos and the robos.
Jurassic World, Pacific Rim,
God.
Rise of the Jaegers.
Camp Cretaceous.
What are you doing?
I think he's pulling up
Getting the
Netflix.
thingy out. Yeah, so I can remember what happened in each episode.
He's watching the episodes right now.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't wait for us to be here for another 5 hours.
Oh wait, no, that's season 1.
Yes, we're here to talk about season 1.
Is he watching season 1?
Okay, you know what? To get things back on track, Indominus, your thoughts on the season 4?
I really, really like season 4. It's probably my favorite season. I've watched it twice. However, I'll need to rewatch the whole entire show to really find my favorite season.
Okay, now in my case, what I did right before during the week coming up to Camp Cretaceous season 4, I watched all the other seasons, so they were fresh in my mind, and I can definitely say that. Let's see, season 4. I didn't like it as much as season 3 because I really think season 3 is just the peak of the franchise right now. And then, but I think I liked it more than season 2 because rewatching season 2, there are a lot of wait, why didn't they do that moments.
I mean, I do feel like season 2 was just like less focused on pushing the story forward and more like, oh, here's fun hijinks on Isla Nublar, and I am not complaining.
Yeah, but it's mostly just what a lot of Darius's actions in season 2 were just like mind-bogglingly dumb.
Right.
Specifically connected to Mitch and Tiff. There were just a lot of moments, like specifically the moment where Mitch and Tiff are down, and instead of picking up the gun, he kicks it towards them. Genius, Darius. Genius.
He picks up a gun and aims it towards them.
That would be the real thing to do, but he doesn't do that. Orca, what did you think of season 4? If you even remember it. Or if you've binge watched it in the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just did it like I was hyper speed. Well, I thought it was no. I enjoyed it. I didn't really like the robot element too much. They focused way too much on the robots, not enough on the dinosaurs.
I'm not gonna lie. I honestly thought I coming into this, I knew you were gonna say something like that.
Yeah, but that's just. I mean, I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I liked it. I mean, it's hard to like compare it to other seasons because, ironically enough, when I watched the first 2 seasons, I had a fever.
Wow!
So,
and now you have a cold again.
Well, I had a fever. Well, luckily, I watched it before I had another fever. But yeah, but basically, yeah, I watched season 4 having fever. Yeah.
Episode 1.
Yes, we get to see what's inside the fridge. What's inside the cupboard. We also get to see what.
Oh yeah.
We also get to see set up for later on in the show, and the only episode with Mimosa.
Yes, but then I think Ben hit it hard the most when, like in season 2, he just says, "I feel like we're not getting our full use out of the Mosasaurus."
Did he say that?
In season 2, he wanted to feed Mitch and Tiff to the Mosasaurus, and they said no. And he's like, "Oh."
I guarantee, in the writer's room, I guarantee one writer was really pushing for that to happen, and that was the other writer's exact response.
So anyway, the Mosasaurus. Hang on. So one thing did the Mosasaurus look smaller, or is the boat just way bigger than we thought?
The Mosasaurus has been scaled down.
Look,
I prefer it scaled down, to be honest.
Look, the scale of a Mosasaurus is insane. Like in the first in Jurassic World, it's big. However, we then get to Fallen Kingdom, and it's massive, like kaiju size. And then and then we have Jurassic World Evolution 2, where it's around the size of a normal Mosasaurus. And we now have here, which, to be honest, I didn't even notice if it was smaller or not.
Yeah, no, I think it looked a bit smaller, but I do prefer its size like that, to be honest, because it's like, yes, that's what a Mosasaurus size should be, not like a giant Goliath.
But we've established that Jurassic World gave it Godzilla DNA. No, wait, no, we didn't. We never confirmed that.
Wait, isn't Jurassic World a part of the Monsters franchise?
Yes, we've established that Jurassic
Exactly.
World just has an extended universe.
Filled with Dinosaur King from Monsterverse.
Big Hero 6, Amphibia. I could keep adding more. We could keep adding more. But soon everything it'll be Movies United. Anyway, anything else on the Mosasaurus?
Mosasaurus small.
Well,
like they did with Dawn in Pokemon. Small.
Well, it's kind of about the Mosasaurus and it kind of isn't. But I'd say the most how do I describe this? But the most unrealistic thing in the season is the shark just going directly towards Darius.
Oh yeah, no, that annoyed me.
Yeah, that really annoyed
it's just
me.
like shark. It was like shark stuff. It's like there's a great white shark. Like really, like they're like not that dangerous compared to like literally an island full of dinosaurs. And it's like a great white shark that barely kills anyone.
You are more likely to get killed by a vending machine than a great white shark.
Really? I've heard you're more likely to get killed by a coconut than a great white shark.
Hey, you're more likely to get killed by a cow than a great white shark because because statistically there's just more of them.
Okay, but anyway, here's the thing. How do we know the shark was actually going to eat him?
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier. Like, yeah, you can say he was going towards Darius. However, you can also say it was swimming away from the Mosa.
Oh,
true.
I was just thinking he was Darius was just tangled in the kelp, and then that's just where the shark likes to hang out. But that works too.
The reason why I have a bit of an issue with the stereotype of sharks are bad is because it just does have a lot of negative kind of connotations to the real world. Like I wouldn't mind so much because it's just a film, and I guess natural predator. But it does have a lot of natural, real life negative connotations. I know since like the Jaws movie came out, obviously, sort of big.
Yeah, maybe that was supposed to be like a Jaws reference or something.
Yeah, like genuinely, like the shark deaths have just massively increased.
Yeah, actually, there's like this really sad comic about like a shark who got finned or something. Like I don't know, it's like this. I don't know the name of the author, but it's like there's this video on YouTube where there's this shark and he's hanging out with some remoras, and then the remoras go off to do something, and then they come back and see the shark has been finned, and they just stay with him until the shark finally perishes. It's a sad comic.
But it's just like it just perpetuates the notion that sharks are just vile, vicious creatures. It's just they're really not.
In fact, In fact, right here is footage of divers just swimming freely with great white sharks. Look at them. They're perfectly fine.
I mean, there's been numerous tests. I know, like Mark Rober did like literally a test with like
Yes,
a
he
drop
did.
of human blood and then like a drop of like fish blood, and not one shark went over to the human blood.
Yeah. It was they were all crowded around the fish and didn't and like I think only one at least like investigated for human blood.
It probably just wandered over there.
Mhm.
To be honest, I say wander, but you know what I mean. So anyway, it's just because I don't like it because massive shark deaths, killing apex predators is very bad for the ecosystem,
Mhm.
and also shark fin soup. Boo.
Uh, and also, if that shark was actively trying to hunt Darius, it was doing a very bad job.
Well,
Because
yeah, most definitely.
Which goes back to my argument: the shark wasn't trying to kill him.
because
The-
because if the shark was trying to kill him, they wouldn't have their fins surfacing out of the water. They would go deep down into the water so they can camouflage, then go up and attack.
Long story short, hashtag save the sharks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To be fully honest, that is probably my biggest gripe with the season.
Shark
Wow.
justice.
And here I was thinking I thought we would all be talking about the robots, but wow, okay, this got deep.
We'll get to them eventually because unlike the robots, the shark argument has actual real life consequences.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
this is a really meaningful episode then. Wow, okay.
So guys, we're here to talk about a dumb cartoon show with dinosaurs.
We interrupt this program to talk about sharks. But
Moving on from the shark, let's instead talk about the cupboard.
what's in the cupboard?
Well, it turns out that the whole time, all of our speculation, it turned out it was a Compsognathus.
It was David the Compy.
To be fully honest, when the Compy first appeared on the ship, I didn't put two and two together. I just
Honestly, same.
I just thought, oh, that's just a Compy and there's something else in the cupboard. And as soon as like the characters went into the cupboard, I was like, oh, something's gonna strike, but nothing ever struck. It was the Compsognathus.
I thought they were going to go back to it.
They did see something terrible in those cupboards. They saw all those photographs of Mitch and Tiff.
The worst thing imaginable, marriage.
Any minute now.
I don't hear the whole thing. I just hear brrr.
That was it.
Anyway, I swear, every time I try to speak, that soundboard does something.
It has a life of its own.
Hello, Khabib. Hello, what do you want to say?
Unfortunately, the Compy was not a surprise for me because Dwerv posted a video saying the Compy was in the cupboard. So, yeah, that was spoiled for me.
Here's the thing with me. I think I did see that video. However, around the time Season 4 released, there were images released of the Scorpius Rex in the dream sequence. But since there wasn't any context of it being in a dream sequence, everybody went, oh, the Scorpius Rex is on this new island. The Scorpius Rex is in the cupboard. So I was like, oh, the Scorpius Rex is in the cupboard. But no, it was in a dream sequence.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
The Scorpius Rex is dead. They're dead. No.
I said we'll get to that later.
Isn't later? This is later.
No, we'll get to that in episode 4.
Okay. To be honest, I sort of forgot that mystery thing, but yeah, I do like in retrospective. I hate what they did with it.
Yeah.
But whilst I was watching it, I sort of forgot about it, and I thought, oh, Compy, huh? Oh, and in the back of my mind, I thought, oh, they're gonna go back to that cover thing. when they didn't do it within like the first episode, I thought, oh, they'll come back to it like in the climax of the series, and then they just didn't, and I just completely forgot about it. But in retrospective, thinking back that over, I thought, oh, the stupid cliffhanger at the end of it. Why? Okay.
That is another one of my main complaints with the season was the payoff of the cupboard.
Yeah, but it's just like because the fridge had a lot of build up to it, and that's why it was like such a great cliffhanger because it's like there's so much mystery behind it. What's in the fridge? So the cupboard, when they ended that season 3 with the cupboard, I'm like, it doesn't feel like a grand finale cliffhanger. It just feels like a next episode cliffhanger. So that's why I felt like even if like when we eventually come to it in season 4, it's not going to be too big. So I wasn't like I wasn't exactly expecting too much from that cupboard.
Yeah, it's just more of a disappointment rather than.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I can see why everyone will be disappointed, but I do feel like it's just like they can't compare to the fridge cliffhanger. That really is just the best cliffhanger they could have done.
Yeah.
Because then everyone is like, "What's in the fridge?" Because it does. What's in the fridge just sounds so much better than what's in the cupboard.
A frozen turkey.
Fridges versus cupboards. That's a battle for something.
What's in the fridge? I love refrigerators.
Okay, so this whole episode is pretty much just boat.
Yes. It's just the campers having a lot of hope, and the Mosasaurus is like, I'm about to ruin these kids' whole career.
Actually, I think it was in this episode where like I think it's Ben starting to go to a bit of an arc in a way, and they sort of.
He ate bugs.
Yeah, I can't remember when did he like start to like doubt himself again. Was that episode 1 or was it later?
That was episode 2.
Okay, well we'll get to that when we talk about episode 2, which would probably be now.
So now we can include. So I just want to mention, since Ben ate the bug alive, this is basically our first on-screen death. A bug.
Well, here's the thing. Even then, they cut away to the other's reactions when he was eating it.
No, he ate another one. Everyone salute for General Grubby, the bug.
General Grubby.
I will name everything this season. Everything that does not have a name, I will name it. David the Compy, General Grubby.
Mackey's, what about the shark? What about the Mosa?
Well, the shark is the representative of the hashtag Don't Kill Sharks organization.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Francine.
My name's Bruce.
There's too many Bruce in the world. It's a Francine.
Fish are friends, not food.
Except dolphins, they said.
Yeah, dolphins are pretty brutal. I mean, whales are pretty brutal.
Is there anything else to say about episode 1?
I mean, there's a bunch of human stuff, but we're here to talk about animals, so
yeah.
Humans.
Imagine the main supporting factor of this whole entire franchise.
Love interest?
Oh.
Character arcs? Oh, check those out the window.
But I will comment that I do like that even though Kenji is like mad at Darius, he's still the one who jumps in the water and saves him. So I'll just mention that. That's really about it.
Mm-hmm.
No mention else of humans.
Oh yeah, and also at the end they crash on the island and they go. Is it episode 2 they go inside the cave or episode 1?
Episode 1 just ends with them looking at the cave. I think.
Does it?
I don't remember. Either way, I think what we're trying to say is it's time to talk about episode 2.
Yes, episode 2. What on earth is going on?
Is that the actual title?
No.
All right, at least. Then again, what on earth is going on? They need to have an episode called What on Earth is Going On?
Honestly?
I understood none of that because you
No.
didn't say
He
anything.
just said honestly.
It sounded like I was going to continue, but it was meant to be like a short sentence, like honestly, as in agreement. But then I had to mute myself because I had a coughing fit. So it more sounded like honestly.
Brilliant argument. 10 out of 10.
Honestly impersonates Mosasaurus.
Right, move on. Come on. We got this.
Yeah.
Welcome to the desert.
Dust cloud.
So, they go out. Well, they land on the beach. They lock the cave. They walk in. Boom, desert.
And then they cross the desert with David the compy following them on every turn.
Well,
I'm
And
surprised they just weren't suspicious out the gate. Like, I can understand not thinking of them being biodomes, but surely were they not suspicious? Why is there a desert on an island?
They had bigger things to worry about at that time, like surviving.
my
Desert.
real thing is, like, when they were outside the cave, it was like all stormy. The sky was black, and it was chucking it down with rain. And they walk into this cave, and as soon as they come out, it's as bright as day, and it's a desert.
Because
Nobody suspecting anything.
they're in shock. They have no idea what's going on. They literally just crashed on the island. Their main concern is like finding help. So it's like they have bigger things to worry about, I guess.
But they do wander through a desert for a wee while.
And even then, once they realize there's nothing there, why didn't they just like walk back to the entrance?
Because they were already so far away and it was nighttime.
Hold on a second. If they walked into the cave and walked into the biodome, wouldn't that mean that they would have had to go through a door?
True.
Maybe the door was open at the time and someone just forgot to lock it.
Yes, but wouldn't they be suspicious because they would come across like the highly advanced like door system?
Or at least an interior.
Hang on, my genius mind can come up with an explanation for all this. It was so dark that they didn't notice that there was one of those holographic tech doors that disappears when you walk near it. They couldn't even hear it go buzz, 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 buzz.
I mean, I assume it was probably just open anyway. But they probably should have, when they walked in, like, this cave is suspiciously not like a cave.
This cave does not look like a cave.
This cave is metal.
What's that shiny thing over there?
You see, Orca, it's called the sun. Okay, so let's talk about that Smilodon. To be honest, at first, before watching the episode, I was like, does it really need to be a Smilodon? However, in the episode, around the campfire, there was one shot of the camera going backwards as the Smilodon takes up the whole entire frame, and it's just growling at him as it moves forward. That shot alone sold the Smilodon to me.
Sold it. I have a bit of like an issue with this show, but I mean, it's an issue more for the entire franchise. It's just how animals behave. It's like no big cat would just growl in the darkness and then appear. It's just like that's not how big cats react. I know it's.
What you're trying to say is, if this was like a proper big cat, it would hide in the bushes, and then in the blink of an eye, there would be just a sudden burst of speed and one less camper.
Exactly, and I wanted
However, this is a TV show, and second of all, this is a saber-toothed tiger which has been raised in isolation. So
still would have had those instincts, and two, I know it's a TV show and all TV shows do this, but I don't think that's not a good enough excuse because you can write a TV show with realistic animal behaviors, and I believe that will make it better. But that's not really a critique specifically for this show. It's more for an entire like movie industry or the franchise. So.
The entire entertainment industry.
Yeah, it's just pretty much every show with animals, they always portray them in like
their most
unrealistic.
stereotypical, the most stereotypical thing you could imagine. Like porcupine
Yeah.
can shoot its quills. The elephant is big and dumb. The lion is proud and boastful, and the dinosaur is just some big lizard that's accompanied by a pterodactyl.
Not so much that. I mean, it's just more of like the hunting behaviors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like it's
but
just the smile
that's
dog
like
growls and then appears. It's like, okay.
still compared to most shows where they can't even get the basic stuff right, like can't even get the look right. So it's like I'm not really too bothered. I mean, it's like it's yes, I know it's an issue, but it's like I can't be too bothered about it because the
Okay.
Smile Dog still looks really good and the scene it's in is really awesome and it has its
Yeah.
own little music and it's cool.
It's just one of those things that it just gets under my skin for like no reason. That's fine.
Yeah, we all have those moments, Orca. It's all right.
Yeah.
My
So,
my only real complaint with the Smilodon design is that its teeth is that its saber teeth are on display, because I believe it's speculated that today it would have housed those saber teeth inside the lips. However,
really?
yeah. However, it is understandable that they would want them on display because iconic look, and so the general audience can actually identify it.
And then
Okay,
they could just use the excuse genetic modification.
Okay, my turn. So Orca doesn't like its hunting behavior. Indominus doesn't like its teeth. I don't like how Darius, the dino nerd, says saber-toothed tiger.
Yes, it's Smilodon. Jesus, Darius.
At least, at the bare minimum, say saber-toothed cat.
He's a dino nerd, not a mammalian nerd.
So am
But-
I, and I know it.
Yeah, you know it, don't you?
Yes.
Well, there
So
you
then,
go.
if we know it, then certainly him, who grew up, who was born studying the dinosaur encyclopedia, should know this. At least
Right.
even the most basic Smilodon information.
I have to come clean. I didn't really know that.
Oh,
I just, to be honest, they just toss so many phrases around just to call that one animal. I mean, I called it Smilodon by default because that just is its actual
Shorter.
name. But like saber-toothed tiger, I mean, it's not really a tiger, is it?
I just call it Smilodon because because it's been beaten into me by the paleo community.
Mm. still
I call it Smilodon because it's just easier to say than saber-tooth cat. Also, it's also super easy to remember. It's always smiling, and his name is Dawn.
Isn't it? Sorry, I think I remember shot wrong though. Wasn't there a moment where the cat like was chasing after the crew, but then it was in the canyons, and then it sort of jumped, and then
It double T-posed?
yeah,
I
like
I don't remember that. All I
held
know,
itself in between.
I'm
Well,
pretty
it happened like
I know what you're talking about, and I'm
It
pretty
jumped
sure it's
with
in the
this-
second. I know what you're talking about. It's in the second chase.
Is it okay?
I mean, other than the Smilodon, there's really nothing much to talk about. Other than the fact that they find a metal panel, they hear water pipes, they find robotic leg. Is this the episode? Where they go through the door?
Yes, but you
They
forgot
discover-
you forgot the scene where Kenji rides the Smilodon.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to mention Ben's character arc, but sure.
Like we said, we don't care. I mean, actually, I do like Ben's arc in this, but it's like we don't care about the humans unless they're doing something connected to the dinosaurs or the kitty cats.
Okay.
Didn't
Okay,
like,
okay, hold on. I just want to say this. Yes, we do actually care about the characters and the character arcs.
Yes, we do.
We just don't care about them when we're actually talking about it.
We do care. It's just that the dinosaurs and the kitty cats are more attractive.
Zane, is there something you need to tell us?
Are you coming out?
How should I know? I don't know what I'm talking about. My brain is slow today. I'm running
Today,
like door. They find the door.
it's adorable.
Hey.
Hang on. 1 second. Let me. There we go. You got it.
Do we want? How much time do we want to spend talking about the door, or should we just leave it at adorable?
I feel like we need to speed up because we're like still on episode 2. We probably talked about the first 2 episodes for like half an hour.
The thing is, no joke, we are exactly at half an hour on the recording.
To talk about Ben's arc a bit, wasn't the biggest fan of just the 180 like sort of change, him going from like a scaredy Smilodon and then to a, I don't know, George in the jungle. So I liked how he has a bit of like, I don't know how to describe it. So
He starts to doubt himself
Yeah.
because he was good at surviving on the island, but can he use these skills elsewhere?
yeah, so then now they're finding like a middle ground, which I prefer. Even though I would have preferred him like slowly grow, like he gains more confidence over time. So by the end, like he is confident like that instead of 180 doubts himself. It's a bit of a weird way to do it, but
Whatever. It's Ben. He's like I don't know. He's like the scorpion of the pulmonal scorpius, where it just has 180, 360 degree turning radius. He just constantly turns directions.
It just turns. It just turns in one angle.
He's Two-Face. That's the comparison I'm looking for.
he is an owlhead.
He's Cloud Jumper.
Yeah. That is adorable.
Basically, he rotate.
He spin. Helicopter going swole, swole, swole.
So let's move on to 3.
Yes.
Yay! It's been another half an hour.
Okay. So in this episode, the campers find themselves in the redwoods with David the Combi just following them around. Then they meet 2 T-Rexes, just having some mother-daughter bonding time, and then there's Timmy Turner just sitting watching the T-Rexes, and then tells them, "Can I trust you?" And they're like, "Okay." And then David dies to Ravage, and then the T-Rexes beat each other up, and then the end.
Didn't the doctor say that the 2 T-Rexes came from Exosauna?
Yes.
But Indominus and I both have different theories on that. Do you also have a theory on that?
I've just thought, oh, is it the 2 T-Rexes from before then?
Okay, so you go first.
Me and Zane have already discussed this in our DMs after we watched the show. Well, basically, we have 2 T-Rexes. We have Big E.T. and Little E.T. I think.
The E.T. family.
Yes. Well, one of them.
To save time, we'll just call them E.
No.
It was worth a shot.
The little one is brown and the big one is blue. However, my personal theory is that Big E.T. and Little E.T. are at the very least meant to be the Doe and Junior from the Lost World.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because
yeah, keep going.
But there would be a little bit of a consistency issue, and there does seem to be a bit of a mistake on part of the show. Because the Doe in the Lost World was brown, which is the colours of Little E.T., and the Junior was green, could have grown up to become blue, and that's the colours of Big E.T. Basically, at first, I thought the blue one was Little E.T., and the brown one was Big E.T., because when we see them eating, the doctor says, "Oh, Big E.T. always lets small E.T. eat first," and we see the brown one feeding the blue one. However, later on, we explicitly see the characters refer to the blue one as Big E.T.
My theory is it's not Doe and Junior, but this is actually instead, this is Junior. Junior grew up and then had his own family with the E.T.s. So like he got together with Big Edie, and together they had Little Edie. And this is basically Junior's family, and it has nothing to do with the Doe. And Junior, if I'm up to date with, I'm not sure if I'm correct on this. Maybe he he was the Rex in Jurassic Park 3 who got killed or something, or is that a different T-Rex? I'm not sure.
I'm already confused with all of these names.
Yeah, they're just so.
Look,
They all have names, but what?
I'm gonna try and keep it basic here. Basically, there is this theory. Well, it was said on the Dinosaur Protection Group website, I believe, which I don't think is canon, because that is where they mentioned the Spinosaurus dying of a disease, which I've actually got something to mention about later on. Because on that website, they basically, I believe, they followed Jurassic Park Trespasser, which said there was 7 T-Rexes on the island, and 2 of them were the doe and the bull. And I see one of the theories is that Big E.T. is one of the other Rexes. However, I don't personally believe the Jurassic Park Trespasser thing. My personal canon is that this is Junior and the doe, and I'm just really worried about where the bull is.
And I'm still thinking this is Junior's family, because I don't think it can be Doe and Junior, because I think, of course, the colors are different. It completely contradicts it, and Junior is a boy. So it's like, this is a daughter. So they have to be brand new T-Rexes, but I'm thinking they're connected to Junior.
The blue and the brown thing literally could have just been a consistency issue along the way. I mean, like, for example, the writers and the designers could have specified that the big E.T. is the brown one and small E.T. is the blue one, and somewhere in there was a mix-up due to, like, us getting confused, and we aren't even working on it.
So basically, if I would continue this, and I'm sure we could go back and forth about who these T-Rexes are, but I'm pretty sure that would take up the entire podcast.
Yeah.
So, and Orca's feeling a little left out. So let's move on to David's murderer, shall we?
I don't mind the Ravages. I actually quite like them. I especially like I especially like the future one because I find it funny. But I'm fine with the Brads, because it's very clear that the Jurassic universe is like a decade or two ahead of ours in terms of technology. So in my mind, considering like the Boston Dynamics dogs we have at the moment, I don't really think it's like that far of a leap. In like 20 years, we'll have stuff like Brad.
I don't.
Okay.
Small. Okay. Sorry. I don't really mind them.
Orca, you first.
Okay. I don't really mind them in small applications. Like, I get what you mean. I mean, I wouldn't mind them too much. I just didn't like that they focused on the robots way too much in this season.
I mean, don't they kind of need to, because they are pretty much like kind of the workers of this place, since there's only 2 humans, and they build and transport everything, and it's something completely new, and you kind of like have to focus on it a bit, just like introduce it and to just like emphasize it.
Okay, I think that sort of leads into like my thoughts on them, because it's like okay, so I do I like, yeah, I like them. I'm okay with them. Although I'm not a fan of how they move, because the way they move is kind of too, like, non-robotic. Like, they don't feel stiff enough. I feel like they're like too animalistic. And then another thing that I'm not too a fan about is that, like, there's so many of them. I would have been fine if it was just like a handful. Like, every episode we see like 1, maybe 2, 3 even if we're lucky. But then it's like, no, there's like a whole army of them, and that's kind of a bigger problem for a future, but I'm not going to get into that. It's kind of like, my main point is, I think I would have liked to see a few more like men in suits, or like construction workers, like more people on the in the biodome, rather than just nothing but Ravages, because I feel like just having that many Ravages is just like, it's hard for me to describe it, but it's like I'm not too. I don't like how they're just mass produced. So many of them. That
So
is
you want
all.
more? So you want more Kenji's dad?
They just clone
that out.
Kenji's dad.
Cut out. That's too soon.
They just like clone an infinite amount of Bob the Builders.
Yes. The basic. So it replace. Okay. Genius idea. Replace all the Ravages and include the Dino Trucks. Because they're also robot dinosaurs.
Okay, to be fully honest, I do like the Brad's designs. However, I would have loved them more if they actually looked like Ravage from the Bumblebee movie.
Honestly, I think if they did that, that would make them a lot more popular, but I think that would get them into trouble with Transformers.
I mean, I absolutely adore that design of Ravage. It's like my favorite robotic dog design. I adore it.
Unfortunately, I do not have that Ravage. I have this really odd looking one with a really small head.
But-
I'll send you a picture and then you can include it or something.
But nobody has that Ravage. It hasn't been released yet.
Oh,
It's coming out.
okay.
It's coming out next month, actually.
Oh, so then, yeah, everyone except me will have it. Got it.
Yes, I'll be getting both that Ravage and the new Studio Series Soundwave.
I have a Japanese Soundwave, so I'm good.
I don't have any Soundwaves, and Soundwave is my favorite Transformer, and I'm extremely excited.
How can you be a Soundwave fan if you don't even have one?
Because look, they've been really hard to find when I was into Transformers.
I suppose that is true because actually, yeah, back in the day, the only Soundwave options I could find was actually Zero, not even the live action one.
Growing up, the only Soundwave I could get my hands on was like this like very very small Soundwave from Transformers Prime.
Yeah, you know Soundwave is a rare Transformer. The only time I was able to find a good looking one, dude, really? When I was able to find a good looking Soundwave is when I had my Japan vacation, and that is where I found not one Soundwave, but a whole aisle full of Japanese Soundwaves.
And I fell out of interest with Transformers in Siege, which is when they released the Siege Soundwave. And as soon as I got back into Transformers, they released a re-release of that Soundwave. And it just so happens that Soundwave was the rarest thing in the whole entire line. It was sold out before it was even released.
Wow.
Transformers, I agree.
Okay, I think we've said all there is to say about Soundwave's trusty doggy. Okay, is that all in this episode, or is there anything else we wanna? Oh yeah, Turner.
Who cares?
Sandwich. She had a sandwich.
I just want to say that Soundwave, that sandwich looks very delicious.
She is now we shall now crown her as Sandwich Queen, Queen of Sandwiches.
Soundwave Queen.
Lord Megatron, I found a sandwich.
So the only other real thing to talk about with this episode is the white cubes on the meat.
They stuffed the T-Rex's food with cocaine.
Yes. So, episode 4, I believe?
Yes,
Rude
this
awakening in the trousers.
I think this is where Yasmina started to become like one of the major highlights of like the at least the first few episodes for me.
Isn't this the episode with the dream sequence?
Oh yes, and when I first saw the dream sequence and I see the Indominus Rex, I'm like, what? And then it turns out, oh, it's not real. Okay, that makes sense actually. Okay, I'm not disappointed. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think I did figure out it was a dream sequence because of the like the way the light acted and the like how bright it was. And
I just
go on.
the only time I figured out it was a dream is when the Carno and the Ceratosaurus showed up, and I'm like, oh wait a second, that's odd. And then I see the Scorpius coming down the tree, and I'm like, okay, yeah, something's up. This is fake.
Yeah.
Fake news.
and and when I saw the Scorpius on the tree, I was like, oh, it isn't in the season. The Frigosaurus Rex is actually dead.
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
know what? I think it's best we leave the Scorpius as a season 3 thing, because it's like that's where you'll remember it. You'll remember it highest.
And
For the
also
show.
considering the other hybrid that appears in this season.
But we'll get to that later. I will say though that the dream sequence is I think it's just their way of saying, hey, we have all these models that we can't use anymore because they're dead. What are we gonna do? Throw them in a dream sequence. Okay. They just wanted to show off the models that they can't use anymore.
And also, I believe this is the episode where Kenji said the funniest thing in the whole entire season. Actually, no.
What?
Actually, no, in the whole entire show.
Say it.
It happens at the end of the episode.
Oh. Oh yes, I know what you're talking about now. But we'll get okay, so what else happened in this episode? Basically, Yasmina is just going through such a struggle, and then by the end of the episode, I'm like, okay, here's the thing. My first time watching this, Yasmina's going through all this trouble, and then by the end she says like she misses her mom, and my mom, who is doing chores around the house, hears this, and she sees me like almost crying, and she's like, "Do you miss your mom too?" So yes, Yasmina, you're like one of the best characters this season, I guess. Like I never gave you a second thought in previous seasons, and now here we are.
I love how they didn't resolve it in one episode. I also really like how this is incorporated in episode, it's either 5 or 6, which with the Kentro and Big E.T.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Pierce was introduced in this one.
Yes, he was.
Oh,
And so was the snow biome.
Yes, and I just want to say right now, I was denied my woolly mammoth. Being
also,
sad.
true. As well, we only got Smilodon. Cringe. Can I have a small rant about Piers, guy?
Go ahead.
He's just not. Oh, I just don't like it. I mean, it's weird. Like, to be honest, for all the characters, I just have a level of meh. I don't know why. I'm just not really that invested in stuff. I feel like some elements are very cliche or played out. So that's why I don't feel like I'm too invested in it. Or I don't know, whatever. But I feel like Piers is just like, I've seen this character before, and it's just so not menacing because he's just like a whiny.
But that's because Pierce isn't meant to be menacing.
Yeah, he's
guess.
a herbivore.
But he's supposed to be the main antagonist for the season. And it's just like,
What?
okay, dude.
No, that's Cash.
Oh,
Where?
Bruh!
no.
Where?
Yeah, no, ignore me.
Orca. We're on about the Kentrosaurus.
Cut.
We're talking about a dinosaur.
Cut. I messed up. Look, this is the how you know I didn't really. Full stop. I don't know.
You didn't really.
Oh, I forgot his name. Okay, no, cut that.
No, mate, I'm keeping that.
Well,
Okay, so Indominus, what are your thoughts on Pierce the Kentrosaurus, which is a dinosaur?
I like Pierce the Kentrosaurus.
Which is a dinosaur.
Yes.
I like Pierce as well. He is very nice. I like Dinosaur. I like Kedge Spiky Dinosaur. He's cool.
Orca just sounds like a 6-year-old.
Yes, I like Dinosaur. He go brrr.
Dinosaur go brr.
Actually, Pierce does go brr.
Yes,
Dinosaur go.
yes. Anyways, yes, Pierce Pierce is very bruh because they damaged the feeding system for the T-Rex. So the whole entire point of this episode is the kids and the scientist travel across the snow biome to catch the plane so the kids can go home.
But then they find Pierce freezing. They find a Pierce popsicle, and then Darius is like, "No, we can't have a popsicle. He needs to be in the desert." And Yasmina, being the good girl she is, despite her fears and her worries, she says, "Let's do it." And they do it. And it costs them getting home, and it leads to Yasmina's breakdown, which again led to my mom giving me a hug.
And also, not to mention, there was a scene where like a Brad was attacking the vehicle, and
I completely forgot about the Ravage in that scene.
and there was and a shot of it was in the trailer, where the Ravage was trying to break through the glass. And when I was watching the trailer, I was like, oh, it's just trying to break the glass. But when I watched the actual episode, I was like, oh no, Ravage is actively trying to kill her.
Yes. Also, I forgot to mention another dream sequence Kaz had. The Mosasaurus just pops out of the water.
Okay, that one actually got me. I actually jumped.
Actually, yes, because it's like, this doesn't look like a dream sequence. It just looks like a regular scene, and then boom, Mosasaurus!
Yeah. For a second, I was actually for like 2 seconds before the Mosasaurus ate Yaz. I was like, oh, do they actually have a Mosasaurus here?
And then she wakes up. It's like that is big jump scare right there. And then, of course, after Yaz reveals her problems, everyone else reveals that they have also been having nightmares. Like, Brooklyn has had dreams about the Dimorphodon throat, and Sammy has had dreams about fire-breathing, mind-reading Compsognathuses. And then Kenji...
And then Kenji says the funniest thing in the whole entire... not this season, but the whole entire show. Where they're all describing the nightmares that they've had. And Kenji says his nightmare has been like sitting in the center row of an airplane and having to share an armrest with a Scorpius Rex. When
I need fan art of this. I need to see concept art of Kenji sitting in an airplane next to a Scorpius Rex.
Okay, I watched this episode by myself. Nobody else was in the house. And when he said that, I laughed so hard. I swear people down the street could hear me.
He laughed louder than the sirens.
Yeah, can we put that on police cars instead of the sirens? Should we just put on Indomitus's laugh?
It's just my laugh.
A criminal just breaks into a house, and all of a sudden, they just hear Indomitus laughing. Okay.
I just remembered something. There was actually a mistake, but I think it was later on.
Yes.
Did anyone notice this with Kenji's beard?
Yes, I've got something to say here. I noticed quite a lot of like model issues throughout this whole entire episode. Because, well, not this episode, just throughout the whole entire season in general. Because I think it was in like episode 5, where there was a shot of all of the kids, and none of them have dirt on their clothes.
Oh, that must be like a. I think maybe those were scenes that were animated, but that I don't know what happens, because I think they have like two separate models, one with the dirt and one with the no dirt. And as I mentioned in my season 2 discussion, that really bothered me. So I'm surprised I didn't notice it this time.
And then
it's not
and then boom, next shot, they all have dirt. And then we also have the issue with Kenji and his beard. Go on.
It's not 2 separate models. It's definitely textures. So most likely they just literally forgot to click the eye in the layer tabs when rendering.
I suppose when you're doing something like this, it's like very easy to miss such a small detail like that. So it's like it's not too big a deal. But what am I talking about? I hated that in season 2. I hated how they kept, no matter what happened, they always had dirt.
Also,
But
that
then
actually,
that's
that bugs me. I noticed that throughout the entire season, they just are absolutely filthy. Did they not have
And
a chance?
I
They
mean,
had plenty
in-
of chance to like wash themselves slightly.
I
yeah,
I
in,
I
in
mean,
season 3, they
I
actually,
just want to say, I just want to say, they have been wearing these same clothes for 6 months every single day.
they must smell terrible.
I can understand clothes, but like the
At
dirt.
this,
Have you seen how dirty Ben's hands are?
at
They're covered in dirt.
I was hoping that this would be something they would like actually improve upon, because in season 3 it seemed like they were more consistent with the dirt. Like in season 3, I noticed that there was a lot more moments where they didn't have dirt on their hands because they were in the water most of the time. And then, but now we're in season 4, and they're all filthy again, and they're eating berries with their filthy hands. They don't wash their filthy hands.
And we then have the issue of Kenji with his beard. I mean, like, this is. I remember seeing this in the last episode. This happens twice, actually. Kenji's talking to Brooklyn. The camera's on Kenji, full beard. Camera then cuts to Brooklyn, cuts back to Kenji, zero facial hair.
He shaves between shots.
Cuts back to Brooklyn, then cuts back to him, full beard.
Yeah.
He shaves beard. He shaves and grows his beard in record time. He is the king of beards.
And literally the same exact things happens like a minute later when he's talking to Darius.
Mm. That's just like a technical issue. It's probably because the animators were probably a bit rushed to get this episode out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
can't
don't know
really.
why they would have rushed it though, because maybe if they wanted to spend more time with it, maybe they could have slightly well, I guess they wanted to get it out before Dominion.
I mean, honestly, it's not that big a deal. It's not. I think the biggest error I could ever think of in the whole series is like back in season 1, where there's a slight delay in Kenji's voice when he's talking to Ben in like episode 7.
Really?
Yeah, but it's only that episode. Like Kenji is moving, he's moving in the action, but his voice is like behind, and it's only for his voice in that one specific scene.
Right, so his voice is out of sync.
Yes.
What episode are
The
we
more
on?
you know.
What episode are we on?
We've because we want to make sure Indominus doesn't stay up for 24 hours editing this. Let's move on to episode 5 since I think we're done with episode 4.
Yeah, because isn't episode 5 where they introduce the communication device with Pierce?
Yes. They talk. They sorta talk to Pierce. I mean, Darius is trying, but I don't think he's doing very well.
Wait, hold on. In episode 4, I believe it's either 4 or 3. It's literally the one we just talked about. They introduced Cash.
And Orca stated that he doesn't like Cash. So
It's more of like a meh sort of reaction. Like
he's not too threatening to you.
Yeah, like not at all. He's just like a whiny. I'm just gonna say you can probably.
Yeah. You've already talked about it. For me, this goes back to my how there's nothing but robots problem. We need more people. So it's the only because it's like if we had more people, we'd have like people shooting at the kids. Instead, we just have Cash. He throws a tantrum and breaks stuff.
Yeah, because at first I didn't really like Cash because I was like, dude, you're designing a IT person, and you designed the most stereotypical thing possible. But yeah, again, this comes back later in the season where we see that Cash has a holds he's basically just he is exactly what a stereotype is.
A man child. I don't know.
He's
don't
a man
like hate it, but
he likes to break stuff, even his own
Yeah.
thing. His super duper expensive things.
But I was referring to when he plays the video game with Darius.
but that's a later episode. So
Yes.
episode 5.
He's a gamer. Actually, no, he's not. He cheats at it, so he's a pathetic
He's a
gamer.
cheater.
Yeah.
And he,
cringe. Get a life,
and
bro.
he found a cheat code to make the T-Rex dance.
Yeah, that made me
yeah.
chuckle.
He's just an epic hacker.
He's supposed to be he's not supposed to be the guy that comes out on he's not when you think of main Jurassic villain, you don't think of him. He's the guy you think of when you think of the guy who sits behind the computer and hacks into the system to let the dinosaurs out of the cages.
He's basically just like a scaled-down version of Nedry.
Speaking of Nedry, actually, when I first saw him, but actually no, I didn't see him. Back when he was just like in episode 3, he was just like no, was it episode? No, it was 4, wasn't it? No, whichever episode. He was just a silhouette. I thought, oh, is this that relative of Nedry that only showed up in that one Lego series? But then it turned out he had no connection to Nedry.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest issue with Cash is that we're supposed to believe that he's a super smart dude, like this AI and robots.
He would work better if there was like more bad guys for him to play off of, rather than just him alone.
I mean, he did mention that when he was building the original Brads, I think he brought in the outsiders to help make it, and he was like, "Oh, this is what I get for bringing in outsiders or whatever."
Huh. I don't remember that comment. Is that all for Brad, or is there anything else we want to talk about Tantrum Pants?
There isn't really that much to say. In episode 3, or actually, there is quite a lot to say in episode 4.
Yes, we just proved that. We've spent hours talking about these episodes.
Yeah. Because in episode 4, the character who I always forget their name.
Turner?
No,
Sammy?
Yes, Sammy. She sees Cash. It turns out Cash was one who convinced her to go to the island.
That's episode 5.
No, isn't that episode 4?
Nope, it's 5.
Really?
We might as well move on to episode 5 then.
Yeah, so in this, okay, recapping episode 5, Darius attempts to talk with Pierce, but Pierce is just like, nah, fam, you ain't my bro. And then Sammy sees Cash and is like, I'm going on a revenge path. And then Turner's like, okay, I'm going to try and convince Cash that this is a bad idea and also quit the job. And Cash is like, why would you do that? And then sends the Raptors to kill her. And then they save her from the Raptors and the army of Ravages. And then I think that's when Ben realizes Cash has a phone. And the plan is now, get the phone.
And also not to mention, this is when he brings in the Raptors and introduces the drones.
Oh, all right, the drones. But I already mentioned the Raptors in the recap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another weird. That's another thing I don't really. Drones with like invisible force fields. What was that?
I don't think it's invisible. I think it's more of they put a chip in the dinosaurs, so when they try to get past the drone at a specific point, they'll get zapped.
That's not how I interpreted it.
I thought it was supposed to be like invisible force field.
The way I interpreted it was that Cash explained it very badly, well, the writers did, but basically the way it works is that the drones are basically just like have a wall of electricity, and when it pushes it up against something, it shocks it.
I think I like my chip explanation better, because that sounds a little more believable than invisible force field.
Well, it isn't really invisible. It's just electricity.
Well, anyway, it's not like that's not. I don't really think about it that much. It's actually, I do have something to say about the Raptors. Actually, it's more something my brother said about the Raptors. He said he would have preferred if we had like actual Sornoraptors in this episode.
Yeah.
I think we're all thinking that.
Yeah, I am extremely disappointed that they didn't bring in the Tiger Raptors.
Okay, so Orca, would you have preferred the Tiger Raptors or the ones with the mohawks?
Probably the Tiger Raptors. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go against the crowd here and say I like the one with the Jurassic Park 3 Raptors. But either one of those would have been better than the ones we got.
Just generic Nublar raptor.
because the thing is, with the Tiger Raptors, literally all we have to do is just reuse Echo's model. Because they redesigned Echo to make her look like the raptor, the Tiger Raptors.
Huh? Oh.
Literally, all they needed to do was reuse Echo's model.
Do you mean
Oh.
texture?
Now I'm even more disappointed. If it was that easy, why didn't they go for that?
I don't know.
Maybe they're just trying to imply that these are brand new Manticorp Raptors rather than like the Sornoraptors. But it's like they don't ever tell us which Raptors these are. Are they new or are they Sornas? So it's like, yeah.
I mean, sorry, just go back to sort of technical. It's quite simple to do all that stuff. Like you say reuse model, it's more a lot of the things that change is just check textures, which are, to be honest, quite easy to do over models.
Yes, but literally all they had to do was reuse Echo, then boom, Tiger Raptors.
Well, the Echo was probably just a normal raptor model, but just changed the skin.
He just explained. He explained that Echo, her redesign looks like a Tiger Raptor. So if they have Echo's model looking like a Tiger Raptor, all they have to do is recolor her, and you have a Tiger Raptor.
No. They don't even have to recolor her. Just straight up use it.
Oh, yeah, problem solved.
I just thought all the Raptor models were the same, but they just use different textures. That's what I was just sort of trying to get at.
The key point is they should have just used the Tiger Raptors.
Probably.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like another sort of minor, but oh well.
I also really think the Raptors were, even if they were the Tiger Raptors, whichever Raptor they decided to go with, they were incredibly underutilized. This is like literally the only time they actually do something that helps with the plot. Even though that point the plot is just removing Turner from the main cast and just sidelining her to hapless victim that sits in a bush.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of like how they utilize the Raptors, because I was a bit worried that they'll just use them for everything, because we see a lot of Raptors throughout the franchise. So I'm glad that we
Cretaceous. In Camp Cretaceous, it's very different. In
True.
the first 2 seasons, there's like only, out of those 2 seasons, there's only one scene where the Raptors actually do something, and the only time they really do something with the Raptor is with Blue in season 3. And I've already mentioned I'm not a fan of how they utilize Blue in season 3. And then anyway, in season 4, finally we see Raptors, villainous Raptors that could actually pay a threat, because Jurassic World always has friendly Raptors, and now we finally have some Raptors that actually want to kill you, but then they don't really do much, and it's sad.
Yeah, I sort of like that they don't do too much personally, but
Look, my only take on this is make them Tiger Raptors, and I'm 100% happy.
I just, yeah.
Honestly,
it's more because I prefer the spotlight on other animals, like dinosaurs.
We'll get to him eventually.
Him?
Her.
They're both female.
What do you mean both? There's only
which Tyrannosaurus are we talking about? Because now there's like so many. You need to specify.
There's only one Spinosaurus.
Oh, how the heck did I hear T-Rex? Oh no, my ears are my last good senses are failing on me. Okay, anyway. What was was there any other noteworthy things in episode 5, or was it just like they talked to Pierce and Cash just teabags on? My brain is slow. I'm sorry.
To be honest, I'm very much relying on you on the recap, because the issue is, when I watched it over the weekends, and I was hoping when our original recorded date was Tuesday, but then because I felt ill, now it's Thursday, and I've sort of lost a lot of what happened. So I'm going to need you to fill in the gaps.
Okay, so I think
I think that's pretty much the main. Unless there's anything to talk about, Sammy and again, Sammy versus Cash. Is there anything to say there?
Not really. I mean,
Nah,
I think
because
they handled it all right.
nah, we only really have to talk about Cash in like episode 7.
Okay, so in that case, we can move on to episode 6, which one was that? Was that like because these ones are like really close together, so it's really hard to separate them.
Yeah, these ones start to blend together.
Yeah, which I'm fine with, but it's like, oh, it's hard to it's hard. It makes it hard for this conversation where we go episodical order. Okay, so I think this is the episode that began Pierce versus Big E.T.
No, that was
Ah,
in
yes,
episode
my favorite
7.
MonsterVerse movie.
That was in episode 7.
No, that's continuing the fight.
It
was it?
starts in episode 6, continues into episode 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just basing this off the thumbnails on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm looking at them as well.
Mm.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, the plot is, let's see, they all come up with a plan to steal the phone, but then during all this, Cash is forcing Pierce and Big Edie to fight each other, and Darius comes up with a plan. Is like, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and then Yaz, she can't do her part of the plan because she's like, she just has like, what's the word I'm looking for? She just
PTSD.
PTSD.
yeah, that. She can't do it, and Darius, being the genius idiot he is, goes in alone. And then as Pierce and Big Edie are fighting, he has to make a choice between stop the fight, grab the phone, and for once he actually chooses his friends over the dinosaurs.
Mm.
And then he
That'd be
calls his brother, and then Cash takes the phone and says, "We're sorry, this call is disconnected." And I think, oh yeah, also Ben once again says, "Kaboom!" And Sammy says, "Yes, Ben, kaboom!" And that's the episode.
Alright, wait, do we actually get to see Darius's brother in that episode then?
Oh yes, we do. He shows
Yeah.
up.
I do like this, and I do like this actually. Like, although it's not wrapped up in this season, I do like what they're doing here.
Yeah, setting him up.
Although,
I'm really intrigued how he's gonna.
although my question is, why did Darius call his brother? I mean, out of anybody, he called his brother?
Does he not have parents?
I mean,
He does. He has a dad. I mean, no, he has a mom. Dad is dead.
I mean,
Well, I guess he trusts his brother the most.
the thing I'm questioning is, why did he call his family? Call the authorities or something?
Does he? The question is Darius smart enough to know the number of the authorities?
True. I mean, it does differ, obviously, between countries, but also, what? How long did he get on the phone?
Yeah.
10 seconds.
And
About 10 seconds.
no.
Yeah, like Darius just said hello,
He didn't.
and his brother was like,
he didn't even
he's
get 10
alive.
seconds. He only got like 3.
It would have taken like more to convince authorities over family, because then if he says something to his family, then the family could go to the authorities
Yeah.
and do all the
Family
convincing.
has great connection.
And even then, when you're in a situation like that, what do you say towards the authorities?
Hello, I'm stuck on a random island that I don't know, full of dinosaurs. It's not Isla Nuba because we escaped that. Help.
Alright, call kid.
I think it really is because in a situation like this, who do you call?
It's like Jurassic Park 3.
Oh yeah, it's exactly like that, except instead of drowning. Did Grant even say a word in that scene?
Yes, he said the river.
Oh.
And then, out of the blue, we know exactly where you are.
Well, I mean, I do have to wonder how Big Darius is going to figure out where to find him.
Yeah. Literally all he heard was his brother say hello and that's it.
That's all the evidence I need. I'm heading out on a world tour.
No, but I am genuinely quite intrigued how he's going to be part of the show now. So I'm quite looking forward to that bit.
Yeah. I feel like this episode is going to be a mess in editing.
Isn't every episode a mess in editing?
I mean, this one primarily.
Yeah.
Okay, now, any comments on the big battle between? Well, I guess we might as well talk about this and the next episode since it's kind of like part of both episodes.
Yeah.
The big battle. So, any comments? Because
Okay.
that was probably my favorite part of the whole season.
I really only have one thing to say about the battle, which is when pierced Big E.T.'s tail. I did like a full-on wince. I was like, ah! And then
Oh yeah.
and then my dog just looked at me as if to say, "What are you doing?"
And then like a few seconds later, Big ET just ignores the spikes, grabs Pierce's back, and then just kills him. Well, not really kills him, but KO.
And those,
Ooh.
oh yeah, and also we have the scene where Big E.T. is trying to feed Small E.T. with
Oh yeah,
food
that was
from
the
feeder.
last. Also, yeah, I think my brother was like really sad when the drones came and took away Big Edie from the daughter, and the daughter's just left behind, and that is the last time we ever see little Edie in this season. I'm like, what happened to her? Is she dead?
Because
Oh, true.
because she clearly needs medical care, and she clearly isn't going to get it now.
Yeah,
Well,
little
you
Edie is gonna die.
You just remind me of a dinosaur in the medbay.
Yes, that's actually that's the episode we're talking. This is 7, right? Episode 7. Yeah, So Darius manipulates the situation and says, "Hey, maybe you don't kill your expensive money bags." And Cash is like, "Oh, you're right. Cash is in my name. I gotta save that." I don't. That's the last we see Pierce until very later on. And also, I think this is the last we see of Big ET in the med bay when Darius removes the Thagomizer.
And also, this is the episode where Darius destroys one of the Brads with a golf club, therefore setting up the new Brads.
In episode 7, this, I believe, introduces the Spinosaurus.
Yes, it does.
And, okay, so obviously, when the Spinosaurus appears, obviously I'm like, drum roll. I'm doing a drum roll, but I don't think my mic can pick it up.
hang on. I got this.
Brilliant introduction to the Spinosaurus.
Oh, I just got that.
And also, we got an explanation as to why it's in the desert.
Yes, and it's exactly what I thought it was. They're trying to make
Yeah.
him.
I mean,
yeah, honestly,
yeah.
you hit the nail on the head with that.
They're basically just trying to make the Spinosaurus suffer. And
I was sort of hoping it wasn't that. But yeah, you were right.
I mean, this is where I'm really going to intervene, because I just want to say this is way better than the explanation on the Dinosaur Protection Group website. Because I got this from Fang, and apparently the Spinosaurus didn't die from any disease. The Spinosaurus died from cancer. And
Even more ridiculous.
here's the real kicker. I can't say the actual name of it because Zane's viewers might be watching. But let's just say it's caught the cancer in a very sensitive area.
Why does the Dinosaur Protection Group just hate the Spinosaurus so much?
I am not joking. For like 3 years, that was the canon explanation to the Spinosaurus.
Wow. Just wow. And then now he's like, "Oh yeah, here I am now. I'm back and I don't have that."
Yeah.
And he goes on a rampage.
Whoever created that website was so bitter, they literally gave Spinosaurus cancer in its genitals.
Good grief. Everyone just what? It's like with all these people who are so salty towards the Spinosaurus, it's hard to believe that it actually has this many fans. That they were able to bring it back, and then everyone loved it.
And also, I just want to say, I love its introduction. Like you have the characters wandering through the desert, dazed with heat. You can see I love the mirage effect on the environment. You just like see this vague shape until they get closer, and then you already know, but you just see the Spinosaurus.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello.
And then it chases them into the
Hello, Kenobi.
chases them into the canyon where they meet the Smilodon once more.
Yes.
Huge. Wait.
And this-
Hang on. I think we skipped over something. When did Kenji fall in love with Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Episode technically
Episode
season
1.
3. Technically season 3.
Yeah, but when did they sort of like ramp it up a bit more in this one? When he was like,
Yeah,
like a bit of a
episode
blatant
2.
like, Google eyes or whatever.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yeah, and we just missed that. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
We skipped over it.
We didn't miss it. We skipped it.
Because
Well,
it's
now,
not
why
done.
did we skip it?
Because
What's our opinions on the couple?
I don't care.
Yeah.
And
I'm
for me,
fine
I
with
would,
it.
I might as well just say that if I thought if any couples were going to get together, it would be Darius and Brooklyn, but nope, I guess not.
If anybody got together, I really thought would have been Yaz and
The one you keep forgetting.
Yaz and the cowgirl or whatever.
Actually, this reminds me of another funny scene from a previous episode where Yaz is trying to help these two get together, and then Ben keeps getting in the way, and she's like trying to pull Ben away, and then Ben gets thrown. At the end of the episode, he's like, "Look, I don't have time to get into a relationship right now. I like you as a friend, but I only see you as a friend." And then it's just funny.
I'm trying to figure myself out.
I do want to say I do really like that.
Ben and Yaz are the highlights of the season.
It's just that like Yaz has like multiple like rock eyebrow moments. Where's my vine boom?
Okay, anyway, back to the Spinosaurus, and I remember Orca. You already mentioned how you didn't like the double T pose of the Smilodon when it's climbing the rocks.
Yeah. I think it was that. I can't remember.
Well, you don't have to worry about it anymore, because when the
Exactly.
Smilodon is jumping for them, the Spinosaurus crashes through the wall and kills the Smilodon.
Yeah.
Yummy.
I mean, on one hand, it's really cool, but on the other hand, it's like the Smilodon, who like we just introduced something that from the Cenozoic era into the Jurassic canon, and it only got like 2 episodes, and it's already dead, so that's already one problem. And the other problem I have is that it would have looked so cool if we saw the Spinosaurus actually clamp down on it, but nope, we had to cut away. And honestly, that's never bothered me before in the past, but for some reason, this time, it really bothered me. I don't know why.
We are going into episode 8.
The
Shark
hacking.
Brad X. I love
call
him.
One. Okay, Indominus, you go first.
It's just that, like, yeah, they aren't unrealistic. However, they are. I find them both terrifying and incredibly comedic. I think it's exactly in episode 7. It's when Darius is like cleaning up the jungle biome with all of the robotic remains, and he just turns around and looks at the Brad and says, "Are you gonna help?" And the Brad just stares at him.
I do like how I guess I'm slightly going ahead by saying I do like how they sort of utilize it with them hacking the bots. So
Yeah.
I sort of like that. It was a bit funny. It's like, oh no, it's just hey there. It's just.
I mean,
It's a friendly droid from Star Wars.
I just really like the Brad X just because of how scary and comedic they can be.
I mean, it's quite comedic how just indestructible they are. In a way.
It literally just stands there.
Menacingly.
I mean, like, there is a perfect example of both comedic and terrifying aspects of them in episode 11, where the Brad X is just it's just like the camera just pans, and it's just standing there outside the window.
Okay. My thoughts on the Brat X, like, first watch, I thought I liked the Ravages more, but second watch, I'm like, oh no, I actually like the Sharktacons more. Although I will say that my main issue, because actually I like the Sharktacons more because they actually feel more like a robot than the Ravages do, which felt more like just actual animals. But then the Brat X, or Sharktacons as I call them, they actually just feel stiff like a real robot. But I don't like how seemingly within overnight there is an army of them, mass produced once again.
I mean,
That's all I have to say.
I mean, it is very safe to say that there was a time skip between episode 7 and episode 8.
Well, in that case, then I can definitely confirm. Little Edie is definitely dead. There's no way she can live that long.
F's in chat, lads. F's in chat.
But anyway, the other big thing that happened this episode was Darius versus Spinosaurus.
Oh, I loved that. Despite how the Spinosaurus doesn't have the colors of the one in JP3, you can you know it's the same one, because Cash specifies that this Spinosaurus hates people.
Oh yeah, I love that little comment. I love how he just blatantly says he hates people.
I mean, that right there just confirmed that this is the same Spinosaurus.
Also, its eye is like the eye. I suppose would confirm it as well, right? It's green. It's a green eye. That's like iconic spine. Or is it just like every Spinosaurus in this universe has a green eye?
Well, we don't know because we don't know because we've never seen a different Spinosaurus.
I do
yeah.
like how Darius, I guess, manages to outsmart. I mean, of course he would outsmart Spinosaurus, but actually manages to do the task. I thought that was quite ingenious. I did like that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
he has to do this while the Brat X is constantly chasing him as well. He has to deal with the dinosaur and the Brat X.
And uses the gas to knock out the Spinosaurus.
Yeah, and then the Spinosaurus just almost tries to ignore it, and then he just faints.
Tranquilizer gas doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Falls asleep anyway.
Yeah, I and also really like what follows it. This is the first time in the franchise where something else has had the advantage over the Spinosaurus. This is the first time we ever see the Spinosaurus actually calm.
Huh. Oh yeah, because every other time it's always roaring and just chasing people
Mm-hmm.
and breaking down fences.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing I forgot that happens in this episode: Cash plays golf with velociraptors.
I loved that.
I was just waiting for one of the raptors to just chase after the golf ball and then bring it back to him.
Of course he would play that.
I love how when he's just hitting the golf balls, like 3 seconds later, you can just hear the raptors just roar very quietly.
They're just, since it's like they know Cash isn't following the rules. He's supposed to say 4 when he hits the ball. So whenever he hits the ball, they say it for him.
Okay. He attempts, well, there's a moral dilemma of putting the chip inside the Spinosaurus's head. He decides not to. The others hijack his Brad X.
Actually, it's not like he decides not to. It's like he's about to do it, but then the Brad just says, stop.
Stop.
And then
You violated the law.
and then it's like they're just talking. They're trying to talk to Darius through the Brat, and the Brat is just saying whatever it is they're saying.
And
it's like that's something that I always find funny. Just seeing some robot and someone's just typing it in, and it's just talking through. And the robot is just saying, "Yo, what is up, my dude? How is your day today?"
And the episode ends with them realizing that none of the chips have worked. Therefore,
Because they're all grown-ups.
Mm-hmm. And the last shot is the
Didn't
baby
they purposely mess that up,
Brachiosaurus in
though?
its cage.
Didn't they purposely mess that up though? Wasn't that part of the plan?
they personally messed up the Spinosaurus, but it's revealed that the other adults ignored the chip anyway. So even if Darius did get the chip inside, it probably wouldn't have worked.
I thought the gang, the Scooby Doo gang, did the other dinosaurs.
No.
No, it was just Darius. It was Cash's test to see if Darius was trustworthy.
Okay, well, fair enough. Whatever. I interpret that wrong.
So, shall we move on to episode, what is it, 9? Is this 9? I think this is 9.
Yes, which is probably my favorite episode.
So
Okay,
that's just-
recap time. Okay, let's see. So, Cash decides that if grown-ups can't be mind controlled, then he'll try mind controlling babies. And then the kids are like, no, we can't handle that. So Darius, his genius plan to distract Cash is to play video games with him all night long, which leads to some hilarious stuff. And then, meanwhile, down below, Ben finds the Brachiosaurus, who has yet to be named. And then Sammy finds the Spinino, aka the Spinoceratops, which was made from the DNA she found back in episode 3 of season 1 with the Sinoceratops. And then it turns out there are 2 of them. And then their names are Angel and Rebel. And they never referred to them to Spinoceratops ever again. But then suddenly, Angel, or was it Rebel, either one, they break the lab, and the Ceratosaurus that sniffed the poop back in Jurassic Park 3 goes on a rampage. And then they escape, and Cash almost gets eaten, and the end. End of episode 9.
I find it funny that Sammy's reaction to the what was the hybrids called?
Spinino.
Benigno. I feel like that was like it's very close to a meme. I don't know what it was. It feels like, what have I done?
Kenji said, what is everyone's obsession with hybrids nowadays?
Oh, I've got a perfect Star Wars prequel meme in mind.
Oh, yes. I definitely, seeing it on screen, I definitely know exactly what you're talking about. Beautiful meme right there.
When they first showed the Spininos, I thought there was one of them, and at first I was quite confused about why. Well, I didn't fully realize that there was 2. That I didn't.
So you thought the characters teleported, right?
I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't realize there was 2 of them until I literally saw 2 of them.
I mean, yeah, I'm actually surprised that there actually is 2 of them.
And at that very moment, my heart melted and I fell in love with these things. They are adorable.
As you said in our last video, they are your children. Stop bullying them.
They didn't really have much attributes of Spinosaurus. They just felt like
Yeah, that's my main. Sorry, Indominus, I'm gonna have to bully your children for a while.
Freaking punch them in the playground.
No, I'm gonna do much worse. I'm gonna use words against them. Basically, I do like. They are adorable, and I do like them, but it's like they don't really take full advantage of the Spinosaurus half. They could have easily just had baby Sinoceratops altered to adapt with whatever it was they were doing, which I can't get into because future episode. But then they have no connect. The only connection they have to Spinosaurus is the sail and their diet, which I see one scene in like the last episode. They eat a fish.
I was fully expecting them to have like a more aggressive side because of the Spinosaurus DNA, since they have like bright red eyes,
and they have that Spinosaurus's DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, where does the red eye come from? Sinoceratops has like yellow eyes in like Jurassic World, and the Spinosaurus obviously has green eyes, right?
Yeah.
Genetic modification.
Maybe because it's like, I think they're trying to go for the albino look. That's why. Is that all? Because those are really the main. Oh yeah, wait, no. Then the Ceratosaurus. Any comments on like the Because I've heard, I heard from somewhere that this is supposed to be the same Ceratosaurus that sniffed the poop.
It's it's very clearly meant to be the same one because it has the black stripes.
I did like they used Ceratosaurus. I was like,
Actually,
oh, yay.
I think I have the toy of that one. I recently got it.
I remember us being very disappointed when when the Ceratosaurus barely did anything in the previous seasons.
It showed up as a cameo, then it like scared the kids for a while, and then it gets eaten.
And
Mm.
and I believe what one of our complaints was that it doesn't even look like the one from JP3.
Because this is the one from JP3.
Yes, and when it was emerging from its cell, I was like, oh, what could this be? And when when the Ceratosaurus appeared, I was nearly jumping with joy.
Yeah,
You're like a kid on Christmas.
it was a nice surprise. I think what my statement earlier saying, oh, well, we saw all the dinosaurs in the trailers. No, we did see the Ceratosaurus. That was a nice surprise.
I think really, thanks to all the spoilers that I kept seeing, the Ceratosaurus was the only, and the baby Brachiosaurus actually, were the only surprises that were of the season.
Oh,
Aside from one other.
imagine how we would have reacted if they never showed the Spaninos in the promotional material.
I would have probably gone, what?
Oh yeah, like it's literally like the thumbnail for Netflix is the Spaninos.
I mean, it is now. It wasn't on release day.
For me, the thumbnail was Kenji and Darius running away from a certain other dinosaur that was spoiled. But again, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
What?
Never mind. Anyway, so basically the highlights of this, I do like this. There's a scene with the Ceratosaurus where it's looking over the ledge and it uses its little hands to grab the railing. I really like it. And then I joked with my brother saying, hey, he's ordering a coffee.
Okay.
He's just
Make sure it doesn't fall over.
Okay, we have episode 10, Taking Control. This is like the kind of final. The next episode is really just set up.
Honestly, I would have preferred if they had stopped like maybe like if a bit of a rewrite. They could have made episode 10 the finale. Episode 11 could have been just like the beginning of season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to how I felt about like the 2 episodes of season 3, the last 2 episodes.
Okay, so we only have one real standout in this episode, don't we?
Well, let's see. Let's see if I can recap. I think Cash is searching for the babies, and everyone is trying to hide the babies. And then, let's see, a Sharktacon finds the Brachy baby and captures it, and then they inject it with a chip and they mind control it. Except all they can do is tell it to stop, and then
that was so horrible. I hated that. I
Yeah,
can see its
yeah.
fear in its eyes.
yeah, I know. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that will probably end. That scene will probably end up like being the main talking point of this episode.
Oh, yeah. I'm not. Although back to my recap, Ben comes up with a plan to save the baby, and then the Pteranodons come out, and I have a lot to say about those guys, but we'll get to that later. They mess up the plan,
Yeah, they
but
do.
they still manage to pull off the plan and lock Cash in a luxury cave, and then they end the episode with Ben naming the Brachiosaurus Firecracker, and then finally we cut back to Camp Cretaceous, where Bumpy is still very clearly remembers Ben and even sleeps at the camp.
Yes, I definitely didn't almost cry at that ending.
Yes, you definitely did not type in, just watched episode 10. I'm not crying, you're crying. Okay.
I'm very curious if Ben will manage to get Bumpy onto the mainland.
That
I don't-
that will probably be like a sequel show that follows Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, or Dominion.
That would probably make sense, because it's like we want to know what happened to Toro and Bumpy. Those are the and I guess Chaos and Limbo as well.
And not Grim, because Grim's dead.
Grim.
Just seems like a few months ago I was the one tormenting you with that information.
That's because it was a few months ago.
We want
And
to
then-
save all of the dinosaurs. I'm Claire.
then
I want to save all the dinosaurs.
And then, okay, never mind. I forgot what. Anyway, let's talk about the main meat of this episode.
Sorry, I just thought of the image, a poster from Dominion. And I was supposed to be concentrating on Cretaceous.
What?
I just remembered Claire Deering in the swamp. Has everyone seen that
curious.
image?
I'm curious to see where that goes.
Has everyone
Yeah.
seen that? I can't spoil the dinosaur in it.
Yeah, but anyway, firecracker, mind control, thoughts. We all hated. We all felt heartbreak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like, when he pressed stop on his button, it just like unnaturally just froze, like its feet stop, its neck stands still. Yeah,
And it shivers.
and its breathing, it gets heavier, and you just see the stress just building up on its face. It is horrifying.
That I
And
think I commend.
It really shows. Like
Comment-
all the characters. You go first.
I was just saying. I'm just. I don't know what the right word is, but I'm trying to congratulate the animation team for that because I think they did a very good job.
That was
Oh, yeah.
spectacular.
Yes, they really got the message across there. And then, of course, they further convey it with like the reaction of like the characters around. Like Darius, he has to throw up. Ben is just like he can't watch. And then yeah, we get it.
I mean, the thing that really pained me was just that the look on its face. Of course, the animal isn't intelligent enough to understand why it can't move. So it's just standing there, just thinking to itself, run, run, run. Why can't I run? And it just can't move.
It reminds me of a dog. In like, I don't know if you've ever seen like a dog like absolutely petrified.
Actually, talking about dogs, I think the main reason why I really felt impacted by the ending with Bumpy was because of my dog.
Was your dog with you that time or what?
No, no, I was watching it. My dog was away when that happened, but I have a older dog, and that scene really got to me.
So that scene hit home. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a very emotional episode.
Yeah.
And now I have to mention my this also, unfortunately, this episode also has like my least favorite aspect, which was the pteranodons.
Least favorite.
Okay. Before we talk about the pteranodons, I just want to say something. This is actually later on when the kids try to capture Brad. I mean, Cash. When the Brad is bending down to knock out Cash with the trank gas.
Knock out Cash.
Earlier in the episode, we saw a different Brad shoot lasers. So
Oh yeah.
so
It was a rocket. It was ballistic.
So what went through my head was, oh, are they gonna? The kids want to kill him. I'm not joking. That is exactly what went through my head.
Honestly, that would have made a pretty funny season 4 finale.
Well, instead they just locked him in the room.
Yeah, but honestly, that does seem like a thing those kids would do. Darius is a pacifist.
I guess, but it seems very silly. Like, of course he was going to get out.
Yeah, but it's whatever. Anything else, or can I talk about pteranodons now?
You can talk about the pteranodons.
It's the same issue I have with the velociraptors, except much more amplified because, as I've stated before, I do not like the Jurassic World Pteranodon. I like the Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodon, and I was so disappointed when we did not get the Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodons in this scene. That is really all I
Did they
can say.
come from Sauna?
Yes, all these dinosaurs they've stated are from Sorna. The Ceratosaurus is from Sorna. The Spino is from Sorna. The Rexes are from Sorna. These Pteranodons are also from Sorna, and they still look like the ones from Jurassic World.
Even the Dilophosaurus.
Exactly.
Good point. I have not figured that one out yet.
So
but what I'm saying is, did they actually specifically say that those pteranodons were from Sauna? Because they did
No.
do
No,
say
they
that.
didn't. But it's just like with all the other dinosaurs being from Sorna, it's just like it's implied because they never say it's from Nublar either. They just say new assets need to be relocated or something,
and Cash just says, chuck them anywhere.
and then they just chucked them anywhere.
Yeah.
And then one of the pteranodons doesn't realize that the sky is fake and just flies right into it.
All of them should be doing that.
They're just
All the
big
pteranodons are like,
pigeons.
"Oh, to the skies, my brother!" Splat.
The
They're
end.
just giant, they're just giant pigeons flying into windows.
Okay. Any other? What happened there?
just, we just all agreed to just silence.
Okay. Anything else for this episode?
I don't really understand Firecracker's name, and to be honest, out of all of the names throughout the series, throughout this whole entire show, that is the name that I keep on forgetting the most out of the dinosaurs.
Because it's like kind of, well, I don't know. I'm okay with it, but like whatever.
What's the Spinone? I know one of them's called Angel. What's the other one called?
Rebel. This was actually where
Oh.
Rebel was actually named in this episode where he's playing in the snow, and Kenji is treating him like his son.
Yes. As I would.
Just like, yes, I would treat Kevin. I treat Kevin as my son. I would treat that as my son. Remember, everyone. Pets are not your friends. They are your children.
They are family. Oh, what a lovely sentiment for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And we also have episode 11.
Oh, yeah.
Kenji's dad, Pog.
Okay.
Okay, time. Okay, recap. Final recap before Orca dies of like dehydration or something.
Dies of illness because I'm not fully over it.
Okay. So
Dies of
basically,
Spinosaurus cancer.
okay, in this episode, let's see. Brooklyn discovers that the Spininos are suffering because they're not happy in the jungle while Firecracker is just running around. And then Firecracker still has that chip in her head, so Turner and Ben go to perform surgery, and Ben is like obviously just being very, I do not like you, May, because I don't know, you talked to dinosaurs when that was my thing or whatever. And then Brooklyn takes the Spininos to the desert because she thinks they're part Spinosaurus, and she doesn't realize that the Spinosaurus is in the desert because they want it to suffer. And then the Spinosaurus chases them out of the desert, and they take him to the Arctic instead, and Yasmina drives a truck into the ice. And then also Kenji and Darius just pull up some shields, and the Dilophosaurus show up, and it's glorious. They're here. It's fantastic. And then the girls just chase them away, and it's sad because it's like they only got like 3 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
And then the Brat X's all show up, surround them, and then finally we reveal that the Manticore is. This is when one of you finishes my sentence.
Kenji's mother.
Yes. Kenji's mother was the Manticore the whole time. I'm sorry, Indominus, you were way off. Well, you were close.
Okay, in all seriousness, I called it. I've been calling this since season 2.
Okay, buddy. For such an achievement, you need to put in this scene. You need a victory dance.
Can I just say I disagree with that victory dance? I think everyone saw that coming. To be honest, I think every single person under the sun saw that twist coming.
I probably wouldn't have seen that coming if I'm being honest.
Really?
Well,
the only reason
because they literally never hint towards it.
And also, the only reason I thought it was a possibility is because everyone kept theorizing about it, including Indominus. But I was like, I don't think it was gonna do because I kept memeing about it, about him just being a Manticore. So I was like,
When
no,
I was
it
saying it
didn't
in
do
the
that.
previous episode, I was serious. I knew he was going to be the CEO. I mean, it's just basic writing 101. Why did they focus on him so much in previous seasons?
But
if
they
he's not
don't
gonna...
focus on him. They
do.
just focus on the fact that he's not there.
They just focus on how,
they go to his penthouse suite.
yeah, to get supplies.
I know, but they talk about his father a bit, and I don't know. But I just saw it. I knew it was coming. I mean, it's nice to like I liked how they sort of implemented it, and I'm very intrigued where they're going to go from it now.
I'm very curious how this is going to affect Kenji as a character.
I'm just upset that they just reveal him, and that's where the season ends.
Despite I saw it coming from like 2 yards, like 2 continents away. I didn't at the time. I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, how cool, I brewed it. I sort of thought in my head like, oh, I mean, it was a good timing of that reveal, I think, because it was like I was genuinely intrigued what's going to happen now, if you know what I mean.
One thing
Go on.
Sorry, I wasn't so shocked of the reveal. I was more intrigued of what's going to happen next.
I just can't get over the fact that Kenji's dad is named Daniel.
A Japanese name or I don't know, an Asian name.
Like a really fancy, memorable name, but instead he's just Daniel.
Well, I just find it funny when
Damn,
an Asian name and then Daniel. Oh yes, Asian name Dan.
Oh, and then,
Okay.
Okay. So, did you still have the Dilophosaurus spoiled for you?
Yes.
Wasn't it in the promotional material?
It was.
Yep.
It was a. Just like the Scorpius and the and the Spaninos, it was a image that they released.
All my spoilers came from Swerve. Every single one.
I don't know where I was spoiled it. I just saw the image and I just knew. Yeah, it probably gave me Beaver, to be honest.
Just imagine if the Spinino and the Dilophosaurus were never revealed. And
It would have been a true rejoice. The moment we hear the whistle, everyone would get up from their chairs, cheer, and set the grass on fire for a bonfire in celebration.
To be honest, of course I had it spoiled, but I didn't put but I wasn't fully expecting them to be in the episode up until I heard the squeal.
Yeah, that anyway, it's just so glorious to see them again, and they look really good, and they act exactly the way everyone remembers them.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was real nice.
I mean, the only real inconsistency is that they spit their acid out of their throat. Meanwhile, in the first movie, they would lift up their tongues, and they have glands under there, and then shoot it.
Oh,
they
that
did?
one, actually.
I don't. Well, I mean, the only time in that movie we've ever seen it spit is when they cut to Dennis, and we just see the spit on him.
I mean, it doesn't.
I feel like the reload.
I mean, it doesn't physically show it. However, you can tell because when the Dilophosaurus is about to kill Nedry, it lifts up its tongue, and you can see the 2 glands.
I feel like the reload time was a lot faster in Camp Cretaceous, though.
Dilophosaurus reload time.
You know what I mean? I mean, I could be like making this up, but it feels like they shot a lot faster compared. I don't know. It's a bit.
Maybe it's because there was more of them, and that's why it seemed like. Yeah, so that's why it seemed like the reload was super fast because there was like multiple spitting at the same time.
Yeah, but then also the Dilophosaurus in the first movie was sort of toying around with Dennis. So
anyway, that reminds me. I'm afraid I have to give this season a thumbs down because I did not see anyone pick up the Dilophosaurus and use it like a machine gun.
Okay, I will be giving season 5 a thumbs down if we don't see Knockout and the Dilophosaurus in the same room.
Yes! We need at least that! And I know we can't have an actual Dilophosaurus gun, but at least give me hope of a Dilophosaurus.
Hang on, wait. Alright. Dilophosauruses mixed with Brads.
Oh, Robo. I think Dino Trucks did that. They're called Glyphosauruses.
Okay. Yes. I know what that means.
Just the complete silence.
I'm the only one who's actually watched every episode of Dino Trucks.
It's because I had to mute myself and proceed to cough.
What else? I think really the Dillos. Oh wait, no, that's another thing. This when the Spinosaurus meets the Spininos, I was honestly I was expecting something to happen there. What did you guys think was going to happen there, or did you just think he was just going to chase them?
I was fully expecting the Spinosaurus to like kind of accept them, but
Me too, actually.
but
Just what Jurassic World happens with the raptors and Indominus Rex.
but I was happy they didn't, and also I really like how when they escape, the Spinosaurus tries to open the door by when it gets its hand through.
Oh, that was cool. Although it's, I guess what you say is that it does make a lot more sense because this Spinosaurus is like super angry at everything, so of course it would attack them. But it's like the Spininos they don't have any connection to Spinosaurus aside from the sail and the fish. So it's like I thought maybe the reason it's a hybrid is because they're setting up something between these two, and then it's just like it sees them and it instantly roars at them. And then, so that's like, eh.
Who knows?
My guy...
Go on.
Just trying to make a dumb
It's harder to interrupt you.
Oh, I'm just saying my guy's Spinosaurus here actually just got the aggression debuff when it came out of the hatchery.
Are we talking about evolution or something?
The
Yeah.
complete silence.
Yeah. I'm trying to make a stupid evolution 2 joke, yeah.
Who knows?
No, I'm way too tired and ill for this.
Who knows? Who knows? The Spinosaurus part of them might be set up for season 5.
I really hope it is, because otherwise they could have just had in like albino Sinoceratops and not have anything to do with Spinosaurus at all.
By the way, have I told you to? Apparently, season 5 is going to be the last season.
Well, I actually kind of knew that.
Yeah, I had a feeling it probably would have been.
I feel like because unless they have more story to tell, then I would really think that season 5 is where they start wrapping things up for Dominion, because I think a 6th season would really start to push it a little too much.
Yeah, they sort of all done. They've probably done. I think they've done all the big reveals left. Like the last thing they set up was Kenji's dad thing.
Yeah, and now I think that's like another problem I have with the season is that they introduce all these really cool plot points, but now we have to wait a really long time before we can see any of those conclude.
Are they planning to release this final season alongside Dominion, or
I don't know.
They would never do that.
no? I'm just curious when they would release it. I don't know how quickly they will.
We literally do not know when it's going to be released.
Yeah, but we can make an educated guess.
Spring?
Where did the others?
I'm thinking spring.
The other seasons did seem to release like 8 months apart. However,
8?
No, 4 months apart. However, this season took a lot longer, so the next season might as well.
Unless it's like because this is season 4 is very much connected to season 5. Unlike the other seasons where it's like you can watch them on their own. This one you have to. It's like incomplete without season 5. So maybe that one's already like almost done, and that one will be coming out like April, May.
Yeah, they're either planning to release it a bit before Dominion or afterwards.
I would think before Dominion. I think that's the deadline they're headed for.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, Carnivorous said that season 5 really ties in with Dominion.
Which I don't understand, because like there's such a huge gap between the when the Mosasaurus escapes and the actual like time it takes for Fallen Kingdom to take place.
Yeah.
So how it's like 3 years or something. How are they going to spend 3 years on that island? Unless it means it's like they're setting something. I don't get. It's like it hurts my brain to think about it.
I imagine there's going to be like a time jump, like the final, like there's probably going to be like episode 10, they finally make it home, but there's going to be an extra episode 11, which is just going to be a time jump episode to when Dominion happens, and that's probably when Bumpy meets Ben after like 3 years.
The cliffhanger is Bumpy comes out as a full adult, and then
Yeah.
and it ends with Ben saying Bumpy.
Okay. Do you still think we'll see the Spaninos all grown up in season 5 at some point?
I would hope so. I really want to see a grown-up Spanino.
It depends. I don't know. I don't know. Will they do time jumps?
I mean,
don't know.
It depends if they also have the growth serum that's also found in like Bumpy, because Bumpy grew up in like a month or something. So it's like maybe the Spaninos have the same thing, and we're gonna see like grown-up Spaninos, grown-up Firecracker, Ben's new friend. He's upgraded from an Ankylosaurus to a Brachiosaurus.
Oh my gosh, running a Brachiosaurus into battle, you won.
You're invincible. Actually, no.
You would
I forgot
own the
he-
battlefield.
I completely forgot this is Jurassic World's Brachiosaurus. He's dead.
Just cut back to me calling my Brachiosaurus useless.
Okay. Any other noteworthy things that happened in this season? I mean, in this episode.
No, not really.
Kenji's dad got revealed.
He said Kenji's dad got revealed.
You think?
Just gonna joke.
So really, I guess now I think we finished the episodes. All that's left now is to say expectations for season 5 from our raw thoughts here.
I mean, we can probably do a bit of wrap up on like what we thought of the season. Like, I liked it. Like, although I had a lot of criticism, I still enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of my criticisms could translate throughout the entire show, but I mean, I still enjoy it. Like, obviously, I don't.
Yeah,
although-
honest. Okay, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, although I sound like, oh, I really hate it, but like, I never really feel that way. I still enjoyed it. Like, I'm looking forward to a season 5.
Okay, so my thoughts coming into this, I didn't have too much of a positive spotlight on it, but I'm certain that's mainly because of the lack, like the season finale of this one didn't really feel like a finale compared to like the other ones where they had like season 1 they blew up Toru, season 2 they killed Mitch and Tiff, season 3 the Scorpius is dead and they leave the island, and then season 4 is just like they scare away some dillos and the dad is revealed. That's it doesn't feel like a grand finale, like a grand season finale there. It just feels like it can't exist without season 5, and I think that's why. But then coming into this, talking about it, I think I'm liking it a little more than I thought I did.
I mean, the dad reveal, I feel like, is on the same level with the Frigisaurus
Hubbard?
in a way.
Oh, the
Not so much
Frigisaurus.
Yeah, yeah, like not so much the actual shock value, because again, I think everyone pretty much predicted that, but it was more of the what's going to happen next, because I'm genuinely quite intrigued how they're going to react to that.
Okay, yeah, I am looking forward to seeing going into episode 1 of season 5, and then just seeing Kenji's dad explain everything, and maybe he even does a "Join me, son," and we'll be the most powerful duo in the galaxy.
And then he learns, wait, you've been messing on my island this entire time.
And also, not to mention, we still have the investors coming.
Yes.
to the
Yeah,
island.
that was introduced. I want to see that too. Basically, there's a lot of things from season 4 that I'm really looking forward to see get carried on in season 5.
This very much feels like a part 1, part 2 situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any theories for season 5? Because I could come up with something stupid.
Okay. I don't think we should delve into that because this is almost 3 hours.
Gosh, yeah.
You're welcome.
I just want to hear the progression of like the start of this. I was probably quite chirpy. Now, like you can probably hear it in my voice how like my voice has changed.
Oh well. You better get that voice back soon, since Nine Realms comes out on the 29th. No, 23rd.
Actually, to be honest, because it's only 6 episodes, I'm probably going to do a whole video on it.
I mean the
How
question.
many episodes?
I mean the question is, will it be weekly or all at once?
Oh, all at once.
I'm sorry. How many episodes?
6.
6.
Oh, just 6?
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
sorry, you could probably just cut all this out. I think what they're trying to do is just really test the waters.
No. I think they're trying to keep it actually short but sweet because a few months ago I tried to rewatch Race to the Edge. I wasn't the biggest fan of it because it just felt like it because it didn't feel like a ever progressing story. It just felt like all of the day in the life of the Dragon Riders, and like we have some.
Judging,
Go on.
sorry, judging by what I know, because I know what happens in each episode. It's not that ambitious. You get what I mean? The main climax or the main threat isn't like. It's very like testing the waters sort of situation. It's not. It's the equivalent of what was the main threat in season 1? What was the climax of season 1 of Cretaceous?
It was
Toro?
Yeah, Toro.
Yeah, it's sort of. It feels a bit like Toro compared to like this Scorpio compared to Scorpius Rex.
I do want to say I
Not
do I
What he's saying, you're not a Toro. You're not a Scorpius. You're a Toro.
I do want to say I do infinitely prefer 6 episodes over like 20, quality over quantity.
I guess. I mean, but I mean, I prefer the 20, but that's because I really like the episodes. But if
I do not like 20.
It's fair enough. That's fine. Yeah, 6. I mean, to be honest, I'm used to 6 because a lot of like British comedy shows only have 6 episodes. So
Well, and either way, whatever Nine Realms is, can't be any worse than Rescue Riders.
Yep.
well, to be honest, I probably will find Nine Realms more offensive than Rescue Riders.
Hold on. It isn't even out yet. Don't judge it yet.
Watch it first, then you can say that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm predicting. Like, although I bash on Rescue Riders, I really don't give a. Is this is all being cut, isn't it?
Oh no, I'm keeping most of this in.
Oh, okay.
Everything you
Well,
say is here, unless we have an audio crash or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what I'm saying is, like, I really don't care about Rescue Riders. It is confirmed to be a completely separate thing, and it's obviously really not my demographic. Like, although I find it funny to sort of bash on it, I really don't care about it. But I find it more offensive when what they're trying to do with it now. I will go into. I probably will go into it more when I properly do a video on it.
I just want to say I'm really excited for it, and I cannot wait until we all reassemble on the 23rd to watch it, and we don't have to record it.
I just can't. I just want to say, Thunder gives me nightmares.
I will have to record each episode, but luckily there's only 6.
Okay, back on track.
Yeah.
Yeah. we've all unless I Dominus, you haven't said what you thought. Actually, you have. You said it might be your favorite season, but you need to watch it again to
Yeah,
confirm.
yeah. Of course, I still have my issues with it, but 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 I do really enjoy it.
Favorite scenes, everyone. Favorite parts of it.
Scorpius Rex on an airplane.
I can't remember that.
Ben bring.
I hate doing the Discord call like this. It's so annoying.
Too late.
It's
Moment's
so
gone. I
much
can't take it
easier
now.
if we're in person.
Go on, Zane.
Ben breaking up with Yasmina.
Orca.
I think my favorite bit probably was the Ceratosaurus.
All right.
We're talking about ironic scenes here.
Oh.
Oh no! I wasn't on about mine. Ironically.
Oh. Okay. In that case, mine is Pierce versus Big Edie. Orca, your favorite scene? Oh, I guess it is Ceratosaurus. You just said it.
All right.
I'm losing my mind. Orca's losing his voice. Indominus, I guess to say the last
I'm
words or
losing
something.
storage. We have been recording for 3 hours. So thank you all so much for watching. Here has been Indomsex01 and
Zainreborn 2. Subscribe to my channel, please. And
Me. It's my bedtime.
Roaring to
It
Victory.
is my bedtime. I
Okay,
Mate, you're
Really
talking
good
over my
guys.
outro.
Who cares about your outro? Honestly,
I care about my
we all
outro.
we all get the picture. You're roaring to victory. Who roars to victory? All right.
Me.
Just put your
The-
2 fingers up like the T-Rex does at the end of it battle. All right.
Yeah.
Indominus, just say the outro again.
Roaring to Victory.
Robotic woof woof.
Ravage eject.
Sorry, I just ruined that by a cough.
Orca is dead. He is dying.
Good.
Yeah.